So when I moved into my apartment 3 years ago, there was this little gecko living in my bathroom. I named him Onion because his skin was always peeling like an onion when he shed. He was just this tiny little guy who hung out on the wall near the ceiling and ate all the bugs. I never had to deal with spiders or flies or any of that gross stuff because Onion took care of it for me. We had this perfect arrangement. He stayed in his corner, I stayed in mine, and we just coexisted. I actually grew really attached to him. Every morning, I'd say good morning to him while I brushed my teeth. Sounds weird, but he became like a little roommate. When I started dating my boyfriend Oscar about 2 years ago, things were going great. We talked about moving in together and he started staying over more often. The first time he saw Onion, he made this disgusted face and said, "That's gross. Do you want me to kill it?" I looked him dead in the eyes and told him if he ever touched my little Onion, I would break up with him on the spot. I was completely serious. He kind of laughed it off like I was joking, but I made it very clear that the gecko stays. A couple weeks ago, Oscar's lease was ending, so he started moving some of his stuff into my place. He works from home sometimes, so he'd be at my apartment during the day while I was at work. Everything seemed fine. Then last Saturday, I came home from work and Oscar wasn't there, even though he was supposed to stay the whole weekend. I didn't think much of it. I went to take a shower and then started cleaning the bathroom. When I went to change the trash bag, I noticed something moving inside. My heart dropped. I opened the bag and found Onion in there without his tail, barely moving. He was so weak, he could barely lift his head. I started crying and put him in a shoebox and rushed him to the emergency vet. The vet looked at him and told me he was too weak and probably wouldn't survive. They gave him something for the pain and said I could hold him if I wanted. I held that little guy in my hands for 2 hours until he passed away. I was absolutely devastated. Here's the thing. Geckos don't just crawl into trash bags and die. Someone put him there. Someone stepped on him hard enough to make him lose his tail and then threw him away like garbage while he was still alive. I called Oscar immediately. I didn't even let him say hello. I just said, "Don't bother coming back. We're done. You killed Onion." He started making up all these excuses. First, he said it was an accident that he didn't see Onion and stepped on him, but Onion was always on the wall near the ceiling. He was never on the floor. Then Oscar changed his story and said maybe Onion crawled into the trash on his own and suffocated, but that doesn't explain the missing tail or why he was stepped on. I told him I didn't want to hear any more lies. I changed the code on my door, put all his stuff outside in boxes, and blocked him on everything. His phone, his social media, everything.